All right, hello everyone. Welcome to today's ATG webinar. Today we'll be talking about the Layer Boss tool within the SIM Manager suite from CTC Software. My name is Jason Artley. I'm a Senior Technical Specialist here in the Civil Group with ATG. We are an Autodesk Platinum partner, and we partner exclusively with CTC Software to provide you and all of our other clients with access to the SIM Manager suite and their whole suite of tools. So today we're going to be talking about the Layer Boss in particular. This is a CAD manager's best friend. If you're doing any sort of template work or need to do things with CAD standards, the Layer Boss is really handy. It's going to take all of our layer information from both our CAD-based drawings as well as our object layers from Civil 3D and allow us to export and import them using an XLS or Excel-based format. So we're going to hop into a drawing. We're going to export those layers from Civil 3D, and we're going to bring them into Excel where we can do easier manipulation of that layer list. And then when we're done in Excel, we're going to be able to jump right back into AutoCAD and have those sync. It's a very effective and a very efficient way to get our layers to sort of jive with what we're experiencing and what we're expecting and out of our drawing. For 2020, now inside of this, my Civil 3D 2020 interface, I have both the SIM Project Suite, which you've probably seen us demonstrate before. Today we're going to be talking about the SIM Manager Suite. The SIM Manager Suite is targeted to those in the CAD management side of things. There's a number of great tools. In fact, hopefully you checked out the webinar we did earlier today for Line Type Manager. But today we're going to be talking about Layer Boss. So inside this drawing, if I switch over to the Home tab, I'm going to open up my layer properties. And you can see all the layers that we have in this drawing. I've got about 194 layers, and these are all set up here. Now, I don't know about you all, but when I'm dealing with CAD standards, or if I'm setting up templates, I really like to show the description. I want this to be filled out because I don't like going back to having a layer list like we had in the old days. I want all of my descriptions in here to help people understand what exactly this layer is. This might not be intuitive for somebody to understand. So if I come over here to click, I want to change my description. Sometimes this interface is just terrible. If you got to click it just right, it's not always double clicking and nothing's happening. It's not always intuitive. So I end up right clicking to go change description. And here is where I'm going to enter view frames. So same thing. If I come down here, I have to right click, change description, view frame text. Things like this. It gets kind of annoying to do some of these large scale changes inside of Civil 3D currently. So if I wanted to change these and make my life a little easier, I'm going to use the Layer Boss tool, and we're going to do some of these edits right in Excel. So I'll close this down. I'll hop back over to my SIM Manager suite, and I'm going to start Layer Boss with Export Drawing Layers. So I'll click this button here. It's going to think about it. It's going to read the drawing and figure out what we've got going on. It popped up on my other screen. I'm going to choose my current drawing, and I could choose all my XREFs too, or I can include other drawings by simply adding them to this list. But I'm just going to choose my current drawing now. I can choose if I want to include my line types. So let's do that. I can filter this by all used layers or unreconciled layers. For the most part, I'm not going to use a filter, but I have that capability. Here I have my background color, and I can include the plot styles in my current STB file if I like to as well. So here's my layer list, 194 layers. All I have to do is hit export to Excel. And this is going to do its thing. It's going to pop up for a spot. So today we're just going to say Thursday webinar, and I'll hit save. It will ask me, do I want to open the file? Well, of course, I don't want to have to go find it myself. Let's do this easy. And there we go. We have 194 layers, all set up in Excel, ready for us to modify. So this makes life a little easier when it comes to filling out descriptions or changing colors, because I have that ability to use some of the nice features within inside of Excel. If I need to filter this or alphabetize it, whatever, I can do all that. So let's come through here and take a look at some of these other things. If I come over here, I can choose my description. We'll choose architectural building, so on and so forth. I can add all that stuff right here easily in Excel. And what if I wanted to change these colors from white? Let's make these red. If I take that red, let's turn all of these to red. All I'm going to do is drag these down. We'll grab everything with building and now make that red. I can come over here. Let's say I want color 150. We can do a find and replace. Let's see, let's replace everything that's 150. Let's make that 160 now. That's something we couldn't do in AutoCAD. I'll just replace all. I can see a 150 here on the screen. What do you mean you couldn't find anything? Oh, we got to find it first. Find all. Oh, I have things selected, don't I? Oh, the beauty of a live demo. So we will find 150. There we go. We found them all. And we're going to replace them with 160. We'll replace them all. Now, we've made 22 replacements. So with that, all of my colors are quickly updated. All I have to do now is save this file, and I'm going to export that or import that right back into Civil 3D. So as I continue through here, I do want to show what happened when I selected and choose the line file. So by including or attaching that LIN file to this particular Excel, it gives me the list of all of the available line types. So if I want to change this to something else, I can easily do that. And same thing happens before. If I use my Excel commands, if I want to make a bunch of things center line, I can simply drag and drop or do that little cell drag thing and make it all work pretty slick. I can also choose my freezing, my transparency, all of the categories and all of the columns that we had in Civil 3D are displayed here in Excel. So very handy tool. Configure all your stuff inside of Excel. It's much faster, much more efficient than using the AutoCAD default. Once this is done, we're going to simply hit save, and I'm going to close Excel. And I will hit cancel here. Now in this drawing, remember we had we have those 194 layers. If I go to create or edit drawing layers, I'm going to click on this. It's going to think about it and pop it up on my other screen. I'll search for that Thursday webinar Excel group. And now I'm going to bring these into my current drawing. I could choose to have these sync to a drawing that I don't even have open, but in this case, I'm going to choose my current drawing. Now, everything that I changed, I can either sync it or add it to. In this case, I want to sync. This drawing already has 194 layers. I'm going to bring in 194 layers. I don't want them to be duplicated. I would choose add if I were mixing different disciplines or different something else. In this case, I'm just going to choose sync. And when I hit next, it's going to go and search that XLS file, and it's going to compare things. So I manipulated 42 layers. That means I have 152 that are not changed or unchanged. And if I go over here and take a look, there's a description I added. Here's some of the color adjustments I made. These are all highlighted in green. As I scroll down, there's those line types that I changed. So it gives me a full list of everything that's changed. So this is also a pretty neat trick for doing sort of a CAD standards check, right? Let's say that you had people who are supposed to be using a specific design template for their projects that was already configured with a list of company standard layers. You could run this command on their drawing, and by bringing it back in, you'd be able to see, by comparing this to your template, you'd be able to see what's different. It gives you those talking points, or maybe it will help you understand what layers people have been adding, what layers are missing from your template. So it's a pretty powerful tool in that way too when we apply the CAD management part of that. So now all I have to do is to sync these is simply hit OK. And when I hit OK, it's now updated those layers. If I come over to the Home tab of the ribbon and then choose my layer properties, now I have, there's my description that I filled out. There's those red changes, and all of my 150s have turned to 160. So pretty cool functionality just from using the Layer Boss here in the Sim Manager suite. Now, another part of CAD management, especially when it comes to Civil 3D, are the object layers. The object layers are always found here on the Settings tab of the tool space. If we right-click on the drawing name, and this would be our, typically, we would be pointing this at our design template. If I go to Edit Drawing Settings, I'm going to have all of my basic settings for my template, but object layers is a key part of making Civil 3D work better for you. So all of these layers are configured for object layers. So when I create a profile in Civil 3D, it's going to automatically show up on this layer. When I create a parcel table, it's automatically going to show up on this layer, so on and so forth. By default, most of these are set to layer 0. And we don't normally want that. There are some good arguments for using layer 0 and object layers. I encourage you to take a look at our YouTube page or our Vimeo page for webinars we've done in the past on using layer 0 to help us out with object layers. Comes in handy for those of you who do a lot of stuff with pipe networks. I'll give you that much as a hint. But with these object layers, we want to edit these the same manner that we would want to do our regular layers. So I'll cancel this to show you. We'll hop over to the Sim Manager suite. And I'm going to export those object layers. Same thing again. Use my current drawing, export to Excel. We'll choose Thursday object layers. And we'll, of course, we want to open that file, make my life easy. And there we go. We can configure all these however we like. It makes it much faster, more efficient. This is also a great way to change between templates. This is something you're not going to see the migration of styles do, is change your object layers as easily as it will with the Manager suite. So for example, if I wanted to just totally mess with all of these, same thing again, use my cell drag, convert all those layers to something else, save my file, I'll cancel that and change to my create or edit object layers. And the same thing is going to happen. I'm going to choose my Excel file, my Thursday OL, and just hit next. It's going to go through, highlight what's been updated. So as you can see, there's a number of these layers that have been changed to C Road. That shows updated. There's no red lines for error, and we don't have any non-existent layers. All I have to do is hit OK. And that is going to update our object layer. So once I jump back into the Settings tab of my tool space, simply right-click on the drawing name, go to Edit Drawing Settings. When I come to my object layers, now I should have a number of these set to C Road. Obviously, that's not the proper layer for ever doing these, except for a couple of these proper layer objects, but just wanted to show that functionality. So that's all there is to it. 4 simple buttons all add up to a very powerful tool within the Sim Manager suite from CTC Software. This works with every version of Civil 3D from 17, 18, 19, or 20. So depending on which one that you have, it will work with all of those tools. And on the same vein, if you have multiple versions open, when you install this software, it will install on all versions at the same time. There are a number of great tools from CTC Software for Civil 3D, both in the Manager Suite and in the Project Suite. So I highly recommend taking a look at the different options that they have. As with all, you will always see this contact support. So if you ever have any issues with this, CTC is there to help you. They want to make this stuff better, and they can't do it without your help. So Feel free to hit contact support if you have ideas for future commands or anything like that. I will mention that as the SIM Manager Suite, it is available on ctcsoftware.com. You can download a 14-day free trial of this software. And you'll notice that inside of the SIM Manager Suite, one of these buttons is a lighter color. And this follows the same theme as the SIM Project Suite with the lighter color buttons. These lighter color buttons are actually free tools. So after the trial has expired, these tools will continue to work inside of Civil 3D. So you've got some great functions there on the SIM Project Suite, and you've got the amazing line type manager in the Manager Suite as well. So I highly encourage you take a look at that CTC software website and see if those tools will work for you. If they do, feel free to reach out to us here at ATG USA. We'd be happy to get you set up. So with that, it's a pretty simple tool. If you have any questions or if you have ideas for future webinars, feel free to reach out to me at jartley@atgusa.com, and I'd be happy to answer those questions for you. Similarly, if you have any questions currently, feel free to type into the Zoom group chat, and I'd be happy to answer those for you. This webinar and all future webinars are recorded, and they are on our YouTube page and also on our Vimeo page. So please take a look at our catalog, take a look at our website, and make sure that you're signed up for future webinars. We do a number of these each month, and we're there to help you. So again, if you have any questions or if you have suggestions on more topics that you'd like us to demonstrate for you, feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to help you out. With that, we'll wrap up for today.